This case kicks off with a twist that feels like something straight out of a soap opera. Miss Booker grew up her entire life believing that Mr. Booker was her father. But when she turned 13 years old, boom! She found out that her mother might have been in an open relationship at the time she was conceived. That means another man, Mr. Shea, could actually be her biological father. Folks, grab your popcorn because things are about to get messy.
Ms. Booker, you say that since you were a young girl, your mother had always told you the man sitting next to me, Mr. Booker, was your father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Then, when you were 13 years old, Mr. Chauncey admitted—
Miss Booker shares that she always felt different from her sisters. While they were blonde with blue eyes, she had darker hair and features that looked almost identical to Mr. Shea's children. Can you imagine being the odd one out in every single family photo? Her sisters even joked that she was adopted. Maybe they thought it was just sibling humor, but for her, those words really hurt.
how you first started to question that Mr. Booker was really your biological father.
I first started noticing at a very young age. I have two older sisters, and they're both very skinny with blonde hair and blue eyes.
Miss Booker remembers confronting Mr. Shea as a teenager, begging him to tell her the truth. His response was that there was a possibility he could be her father. Excuse me, but that is not the kind of maybe you drop on a 13-year-old child. Judge Lauren's expression says it all. This was an incredibly heavy burden for a young girl to carry.
How did you feel?
I just knew in my heart that my mother was hiding something from me, and I could never get her to admit it until I finally pulled Mr. Chauncey aside, and I said—
And then the plot thickens. Miss Booker calls Mr. Booker, the man she has always believed to be her father, and he admits that there is a strong chance she might actually be Mr. Shea's daughter. Can we take a moment here? Imagine your entire foundation crumbling with just one phone call. That is absolutely devastating.
I called Mr. Booker and I asked him his own opinion. Do you think Mr. Chauncey could be my father? And he said, there's a big chance that he could because—
Then comes the jaw-dropping backstory. Her mother admits that while married to Mr. Booker, they actually tried to fix their marriage by going to a swingers club. Yes, you heard that right, a swingers club to save the marriage. Judge Lauren had to stop and repeat it back like, "Excuse me? Did I hear that correctly?"
At all. I had to get half drunk, to be honest with you, to walk into this place. But he said, as a last-ditch effort, Eileen, let's try it. I said, okay. I had kids. I didn't want to be divorced.
It gets worse, because at that very swingers club, Mrs. Booker met Mr. Shaw, the man who would later become her soulmate and husband for nearly 3 decades. So instead of saving her marriage, the club basically turned into a matchmaking service. Even Judge Lauren had to call it out for what it was. This was not the plan.
Love him to death.
Wow, so Mr. Booker, this, I'm sure, was not in your plan if you go into the swingers club to save your marriage and next thing you know, your wife has met someone and married them that didn't turn out.
Miss Booker finally snaps. She unleashes years of bottled-up pain, furious that her mother lied to her face for 27 years, always denying the possibility that Mr. Shaw could be her father. Through tears, she pleads, "I gave you 1,000 chances to tell me the truth." The heartbreak is raw, the betrayal undeniable. Folks, that one hit like a gut punch.
You lied for 27
It's okay.
years. No.
I did not lie for 27 years.
You just admitted that you two were together at the same time for the first time to my knowledge today.
That's true.
Why, when I've asked you—
Mr. Booker, bless his heart, makes it clear that love runs deeper than DNA. He recalls how at birth, she looked just like his other children, and even as her features changed, his devotion never did. "She's my daughter no matter what," he says, and the courtroom feels that rare, tender reminder of what true fatherhood really means.
When she was born, but—
Because you see the difference as well, and you always
I see
have.
that she's different from her sisters, yes.
Okay.
But
Then comes a curveball. Her sister Diane appears in a video statement. Diane insists that Mr. Booker is the biological father because that's what their mother always told them. She says if the DNA proves otherwise, her entire world will feel like a lie. This family isn't just divided, it's hanging by a single thread.
Hi, my name is Diane. I'm Susan's oldest sister. I believe my sister's biological father is Steve, my biological father, because that's what my mother has told me for all these years, and I've been the only person to stick up for my mother.
Miss Booker answers with bittersweet honesty. She says she'll accept whatever the DNA reveals, but if it proves her mother has lied to her for nearly 3 decades, the wound may never heal. She admits forgiveness might be impossible because sometimes betrayal cuts deeper than any test result ever could.
Will not do it while you're alive. I will do it after you're not. That's how this whole thing began. And I told them if the results come back that he is my father, it will be bittersweet. I'll be happy. It's the guy who raised me. I had a good childhood.
And here it is, the moment of truth. Jerome hands the envelope to Judge Lauren, and the room falls silent. You could hear a pin drop. Judge Lauren reminds everyone once more, DNA does not lie. Hearts pounding, breaths held, the verdict of decades of secrets and suspicions is about to be revealed. Cue the drum roll. This is it.
Results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows.
Finally, the DNA results have arrived. It is Booker DNA reveal time, and the truth everyone has been waiting for is about to come out. After all the lies, secrets, and shocking revelations, we are finally about to get clarity. The question is simple. Who is the real father? Place your guesses now because the answer is moments away.
Or Mr. Booker is the biological father of Susan Booker. It has been determined by this court that Ms. Booker's biological father is Mr. Booker.
The final scene is absolutely gut-wrenching. Miss Booker breaks down in her father's arms, sobbing, "Why can't I look like my blonde sisters?" You can feel every ounce of her pain. And then Judge Lauren steps in with the perfect words of comfort. "You are beautiful exactly the way you are." Folks, I swear, that line hit me straight in the heart.
So why can't I be skinny with blonde hair then?
You're beautiful anyway.
Hug him.
Tall and brunette, you're still beautiful. Trust me.
Miss Curtis has been left homeless and is in desperate need of help because the defendant, Mr. Buckley, refuses to accept that he might be the father of her child. Mr. Buckley claims that all she has done is cheat and lie, and he believes the DNA results will prove he is not the father. Here's how the case begins.
Ms. Curtis, you say this court date is extremely important to you. You're here to prove to your ex-fiancé, Mr. Buckley, that he fathered your 22-month-old son, Xavier.
Wow. Going from having a home to sleeping in a homeless shelter with a child is absolutely devastating. Miss Curtis is clearly hurting, and even talking about it brings tears to her eyes. I really wonder how things got to this point.
His landlord sent me an eviction notice. I had just had surgery.
Is that true, Mr. Buckley?
Yes, that is true, Your Honor, but I allowed her to live in my apartment at that time. I was being nice to her.
This case is already shaping up to be intense. Mr. Buckley says he never wanted a relationship with Miss Curtis. When he told her this, she allegedly threatened to make his life a living hell. According to him, that was the only reason he asked her to leave the house.
So you don't believe you can have children?
No, Your Honor.
Why?
Your Honor, I was in a relationship before, and we tried to conceive a child.
Even my eyebrows are raised hearing this. Mr. Buckley admits that he has never been able to get any woman pregnant, not once, but in 2 previous relationships. So when Miss Curtis suddenly claims she is pregnant, it naturally raises suspicions.
Whose is it?
No, you didn't.
That's pretty much what I said.
No, you said you told every other girl you were in a relationship with, congratulations, who's the father? But I was different, that you were willing to step up and be his father, which you haven't done.
Ha ha, you can tell Judge Lauren is looking at these 2 grown adults like they're in the middle of a chaotic family session. Mr. Buckley says that Miss Curtis had her own apartment, and he doesn't understand why she never wanted to move out of his place.
Spending Christmas with you? Who was I having sex with? Your brothers? Your uncle?
No.
What happened during the conception period? It was during the holidays?
Yes, it was Christmas.
She told me.
I was supposed to go home for Christmas.
Well, he started it. He definitely deserved that after claiming she had plenty of opportunities to sleep around. Oh well. The 2 of them continue yelling back and forth, dropping truth bombs left and right. Judge Lauren will have to step in soon before they completely tear each other apart.
So take me to the day you gave birth, Miss Curtis.
I was in labor for 13 and a half hours. Mr. Buckley was with me for the whole 13 and a half hours. I have pictures of him at the hospital.
Can you really blame her for falling in love? She just explained how Mr. Buckley broke down in tears when doctors said the baby might not survive surgery. So why is he standing here acting like he never cared about that child?
Something that we made together, something that I never thought was possible.
Something that I don't think is possible, Your Honor.
But in this photo, it doesn't look like. I see tears in your eyes, Mr. Buckley.
At this point, it feels like Mr. Buckley is stuck in a battle between his heart and his mind. In his heart, he truly wants this child to be his because deep down, he wants the chance to be a father. But his mind won't let him believe it. After trying and failing in past relationships, he's convinced it just isn't possible.
Miss Bunch, you are Mr. Buckley's
friend.
All right. And what information do you have concerning Xavier's paternity?
Your Honor, I have a lot of information. I actually brought a sketch with me.
Well, now we see why his doubts run so deep. One of Mr. Buckley's friends steps forward and claims she knew for a fact that Miss Curtis had a boyfriend at the time. On top of that, she accuses Miss Curtis of being involved with several other men. And the wildest part? She says she discovered all of this just by watching what went on from her own back door. Talk about messy.
Father's name, Xavier Buckley.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's you.
Correct.
You signed it voluntarily.
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
And is there a child support order?
Yes, Your Honor.
There is.
Yes.
And just like that, they're back at it again, trading accusations. Miss Curtis fires back, saying Mr. Buckley is behind on child support because he walked away from his job on purpose. According to her, he did it just so he wouldn't have to provide for her child. At this point, the back and forth feels endless. Enough with the chaos. Let's get to what really matters. The DNA results are in.
It has been determined by this court, Mr. Buckley, you are not his father.
Buckle up, because this case is an unforgettable hot mess. Miss Bargy found herself stuck in a love triangle nobody expected, caught between her husband and her ex-boyfriend. And it gets even crazier. Both men are convinced they're the father of her baby. The real kicker? Even Miss Bargy has no idea who the actual father is. Yeah, it's that complicated.
Admit you cheated on your husband and now you are caught in a paternity triangle, with both men believing they fathered your 2-month-old daughter, McKenna.
If there's one thing you can give Miss Bargy credit for, it's that she didn't come to court pretending to be innocent. She admitted she made a mistake, and you can tell she's looking for a way to make things right. Judge Lauren, clearly aware of how deep this mess goes, turns to her husband and asks about his connection to the child. Just like that, he opens up. His love for that baby runs deep.
Mr. Bargy,
yes.
You've fallen in love with McKenna.
Yes.
Tell me about the relationship you have with her.
I could be at work for 10 to 12 hours a day.
Woo! You've got to admit, Miss Bargy's husband and the baby looked absolutely adorable in that moment. But don't let that sweet scene fool you. Mr. Lawson, her ex-boyfriend, wasn't ready to give up his claim to the child. Even after seeing how well the baby bonded with Miss Bargy's husband, he stood his ground, saying, "That baby could be mine too." This man is fully prepared to fight for fatherhood with everything he's got.
I believe I am because I was around. She was with me when she got pregnant. I was there for the whole pregnancy. I was there when McKenna was born.
Now, this is where things really start spiraling out of control. Apparently, the break she took from her marriage turned into a full-blown affair. And it didn't stop there. When she found out she was pregnant, she told Mr. Lawson first. Not because he was her favorite, but because they were living together at the time. Yep. You heard that right. She was essentially playing house with her ex while still married. This story just keeps unraveling.
The day that I found out was the end of April. It was April the 27th. The whole month of April I was getting sick, and I took a pregnancy test, and then it came back that I was pregnant.
Even Judge Lauren couldn't hide her disappointment, and honestly, same here. But the heartbreak didn't stop there. Miss Bargy dropped another bomb. She never even told her husband she was pregnant. Not a single hint. She admitted she didn't have the courage to face him with the truth. So how did he find out? He noticed her body changing and figured it out on his own. Talk about betrayal hitting in waves.
You really got up the courage to tell your husband that you were pregnant and McKenna could be his child.
I did not tell my husband.
Oh, wow. Now it's clear why both men think they could be the father. Miss Bargy admitted she was intimate with both her husband and Mr. Lawson at the same time. Messi doesn't even begin to cover it. And just when you think she's done dropping bombs, she drops another. Her husband had also been cheating on her with his ex. So yeah, this wasn't just a triangle, it was a full-on war zone.
And that was due to the fact that he had spoken to one of my friends and they had talked about actually being together. My friend was one of his exes. His ex actually messaged me and was showing me messages that him and her were sleeping together when me and him.
Mr. Lawson?
Yes.
Honestly, I'm right there with Judge Lauren. This is complete chaos. While Miss Bargy's husband has built a strong, loving bond with the child, Mr. Lawson has no connection at all. Why? Because he says that every time he tried to be involved, Miss Bargy shut him out. According to him, she did everything she could to keep him away so her husband could maintain the dad title. Woo! This courtroom is a full-blown circus.
Right now, I don't have a relationship because when Miss Bargy left, we have talked and tried to set up times for me to see her, but there is a lack of information.
At this point, it's clear that Miss Bargy has zero interest in dealing with Mr. Lawson ever again. She tells the judge straight up that even if he turns out to be the biological father, she doesn't want him anywhere near her child. That's some serious dislike right there. You have to wonder, what did he do to make her that bitter? Because this isn't just about fatherhood, it's personal.
Mr. Lawson is McKenna's biological father. Have you thought about where you go from here?
If Mr. Lawson is her father, I do not want him to be a part of her life, period. Like, I want rights terminated because my daughter deserves so much better. My husband has been there and took care of her.
Woo! This courtroom has seen enough drama to last a lifetime. Now it's time to end the suspense and reveal the DNA results. Will Miss Bargy get her wish and keep Mr. Lawson out of her life, or will the results bring yet another shocking twist? Whatever happens, this truth bomb is about to drop, and someone's world is definitely going to be turned upside down.
The biological father is Mr. Lawson. You are McKenna's biological father, Mr. Lawson.
Mr. Hill has already paid more than $50,000 in child support for his 18-year-old son, Toman. Yet today, he's sitting in court claiming that he isn't even sure he is the father. Just think about it. He's been sending money for years while quietly doubting his own child. On the other side, Miss Harris is absolutely certain. She insists that Mr. Hill is Toman's father, pointing out that, in her eyes, the boy looks just like him.
Mr. Hill, you have petitioned the court for years to get a DNA test on Miss Harris's 18-year-old on Toman.
Right from the start, Mr. Hill claims that Miss Harris was unfaithful during their relationship. He says she even admitted it to him several times. Miss Harris fires back immediately, calling Mr. Hill a complete liar. The tension in the courtroom is already heating up with all the back and forth. He said, she said.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, why don't you think he's yours?
Basically, she had sexual intercourse with somebody else.
Excuse me, all right.
Judge Lauren steps in, trying to get to the heart of the matter. She asks Mr. Hill why he doubts he is Toman's father. Hill responds with a bizarre story about a man on the street who tried to pick a fight with him, claiming he was the real father. Seriously. You know things are complicated when a random street confrontation becomes part of your paternity explanation.
So you're saying she told you she slept with somebody else?
On numerous different occasions.
All right, but the point is when you were in your relationship.
Miss Harris isn't buying any of it. She says that back when Toman was born, Mr. Hill was actually joyful and proud. According to her, he even went around telling everyone, "That's my baby." She adds that he was the one who cut the umbilical cord. Just picture him shouting that across the hospital. It's a moment you won't forget.
The event.
I got pregnant, first in the delivery room. He was so happy talking about he didn't want to sign a birth certificate.
But Mr. Hill insists that he always had doubts. He claims Miss Harris would avoid his phone calls, leave him waiting on hold for long stretches, and basically give him the impression that she was out seeing someone else. You can tell Judge Lauren isn't fully convinced yet. She leans in with that familiar, knowing, expression.
Toman was conceived.
The always on the phone, I'm talking to her. She put me on hold 5-10 minutes, something like that.
Then the discussion turns to money. Mr. Hill explains that he's been paying child support faithfully, hundreds of dollars every 2 weeks. But he claims Miss Harris didn't even show up to court when he requested DNA tests. If you've ever felt strapped for cash, just imagine being in that position and not even knowing for sure if the child is yours.
You never had that.
Different occasions.
Amazed, happy because this was your first child.
Different occasions. I'm at court. She's nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found.
Then Miss Harris's mother, Miss Holmes, steps into the courtroom, and she doesn't hold back. She looks Mr. Hill straight in the eye and says, "Are you blind? Look at him. He looks exactly like you." The attitude, the sass. It's clear that Grandma is not here to play around.
Thank you, Ms. Holmes, for joining us today. What do you know about this?
Mr. Hill, you need to be ashamed of yours. Are you blind, Chris?
Judge Lauren then turns her attention to Toman himself. And you might want to grab some tissues. He says he has always believed that Mr. Hill is his father and never thought otherwise. Still, he admits that he doesn't really have any memories of a father being present in his life. The sadness in his voice is raw and heartbreaking.
I know this is hard for you to listen to, all these adults just arguing back and forth, but I want to understand from your perspective.
Toman even shares that he feels left out when he sees his friends with their dads. It's a gut punch, really. The camera pans to Mr. Hill, and you can see the guilt written all over his face, like he's finally realizing the harm his doubts have caused.
I just feel like he should be there. He should have been there my whole life. I should remember him through my life, and I don't.
Your Honor, can I speak?
I hope you say something of value.
I did try to have a relationship with Tamon.
But Mr. Hill tries to defend himself, claiming that every time he reached out, it was only about money. Judge Lauren isn't having it. She calls him out directly, saying, 18 years and all you have are excuses. Ouch. That statement hits hard, like a courtroom-sized smack to his ego.
He was alive before Facebook was even created. I don't want to hear no excuses. 18 years.
Look, I told
Tamon, did you bring the messages to you?
I gave my number.
Then Miss Harris brings up the height argument. She points out that the man Mr. Hill accused her of cheating with was tall, over 6 feet, while Mr. Hill is shorter. She adds that her son ended up closer to Mr. Hill's height. She's basically doing a little courtroom math on genetics. Even Judge Lauren seemed to think, well, she's got a point.
If you brought something,
Yes.
absolutely. I would like to see some evidence that makes sense this mess.
This is the alleged person that he claimed.
By this point, Judge Lauren has had enough. She tells both parents that the only person really suffering is Toman, the young man who has spent his entire life believing he had a father, only to get caught up in an 18-year-long mess. The courtroom falls completely silent.
Listen. Are you all understanding that the only person really hurting this is Tamon?
And now, the moment everyone has been waiting for. Judge Lauren picks up the envelope, and the tension in the room is almost unbearable. She opens it and begins to read the results. In the case of Hill versus Harris regarding 18-year-old Toman, it's finally time to see what the DNA test reveals.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows.
Immediately, Mr. Hill breaks down. He turns to Toman, tears streaming, and apologizes for not being there, asking for his forgiveness. Then comes a long, heartfelt hug. After 18 years of doubt, the truth finally brings this family together. Now that is what you call a paternity court moment.
Say something, Your Honor. Can I say
I
something?
think you
Your Honor?
owe my son an apology.
Excuse me. That's exactly what I'm finna do. Tamon, I apologize.
Brace yourself, because this case is nothing short of chaos from beginning to end. Miss Ramos steps into the courtroom absolutely determined to prove that her ex-fiancé, Mr. Edwards, is the biological father of her baby. But Mr. Edwards is not having it at all. He strongly denies the claim and even goes as far as saying that Miss Ramos purposely shifted her due dates just to trap him into being labeled as the father. From the very start, this situation is messy in every possible way.
Ms. Ramos, you are in court to prove that your ex-fiancé, Mr. Edwards, fathered your 1-month-old son, Xavier.
Did Miss Ramos really just say she is not the only one? This case is beginning to play out like something straight out of a reality show. According to Miss Ramos, several women, yes, multiple women, have come up to her out of nowhere and told her that Mr. Edwards is not the father of her child. Just picture the confusion that would bring. If nothing else, it shows exactly what kind of man Mr. Edwards is and how shaky this entire situation has become. There is no trust here from either side.
But then that's when he started doing the cheating from the whole time. And yes, I did have sex with an ex of mine, but that was after the fact.
And just when it seems like Miss Ramos might be standing on solid ground, everything changes. She admits that, at the beginning, she was not taking her relationship with Mr. Edwards seriously, and even went back to sleeping with her ex. Yet now that she is pregnant, she suddenly expects everything to turn around and become a committed love story. It does not make sense. One moment she calls it casual, the next she wants it to be serious. Her story has gaps all over, and it is hard to know what the truth really is.
When do you find out she cheated?
Well, at the beginning, when she was at least like a month pregnant, that's when she had slept with a relative of mine.
Wait a second. Did she really just admit that? Yes, she did. Miss Ramos openly confessed that while she was already pregnant, she slept with Mr. Edwards' cousin. Now, how in the world do you explain something like that? Her explanation. She said that she and Mr. Edwards were not getting along at the time, so she thought it was justified. Miss Ramos, let us be clear, that is not a reason. That is a whole different level of disrespect. Whether it is family or not, crossing that line makes the situation twice as bad.
She was in, and I ended up eventually moving in her apartment. Now, the relative of mine is the person that she slept with when she was about a month.
Now come on, this part is hard to believe. Miss Ramos is actually trying to argue that she was not even fully aware of what was happening. Excuse me, but no one just accidentally ends up sleeping with another person, especially not with the cousin of the man who might be the father of her baby. That explanation does not make sense. It feels more like a last-minute attempt to change the story than anything else. Honestly, she would seem far more believable if she simply told the truth instead of offering excuses that fall apart the moment you hear them. Right now, what she is showing looks like denial covered in pure delusion.
This person before?
It's just too many times where she slept with people. Then the one time, she had texted my phone and said that she had another confession.
No, I am completely in agreement with Judge Lauren on this. What Ms. Ramos admitted to is beyond upsetting. She openly confessed that she was not only with her ex and with Mr. Edwards' cousin, but she also had another random encounter that led to her catching 2 sexually transmitted diseases while she was already pregnant. That is not only reckless, it is dangerous for her and for her unborn baby. At some point, there has to be accountability. The choices she made have real consequences, and the damage is right there for everyone to see. This is not just courtroom drama anymore. This is a full-on disaster.
We've decided that we wanted to have a complete family. He asked me to marry him.
So after all this, Mr. Edwards, you agreed to marry Ms. Ramos? You asked her to marry you?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Honestly, Mr. Edwards has every reason to doubt whether this child is his. With everything Ms. Ramos admitted to, being with multiple men, the confusing timelines, and even being involved with someone in his own family, it would take a miracle for any man not to question the situation. And yet, despite all of that, he still asked her to marry him. I truly do not know what kind of hold she had on him, but whatever it was, it had him completely blinded. Because nothing about this situation says, let's build a future together.
Mr. Edwards, you look pretty happy.
It's just like him. That's what hurt. That's what.
And Ms. Ramos, this upsets you.
Yes, it hurt. It upsets me bad. It upsets me very bad.
Jerome, I want you to give Mr. Edwards a close-up look at this picture.
I have to side with Judge Lauren once again. When you look at the photo of Mr. Edwards holding that baby, he appears to be the happiest man alive. You would never imagine that behind that smile is so much doubt and heartache. Deep down, it is obvious he wants to be the father. But let's be real. After everything Ms. Ramos has admitted, it would be impossible for anyone not to question the situation. The picture may look touching, but the reality behind it is still painful.
So he didn't sign the birth certificate, but you still gave Xavier his last name?
Because him and his father told me to give him his last name. They were both there.
I did tell her to give.
Judge Lauren said it best. Mr. Edwards stepped into the role of a father from day one. He was there. He supported Ms. Ramos, and he did everything a man is supposed to do. But the question still lingers. If he never truly trusted her, why didn't he leave? Was it love? Was it guilt? Maybe denial? Or maybe just the hope that the baby really was his? No matter the reason, his heart was clearly pulling him in a direction his mind could never fully accept.
When he said she was pregnant, it was already a rumor going around that she was pregnant before they started talking by somebody else.
Disagree.
Everybody knew about it.
And now we've reached the breaking point of this entire emotional storm. Even Mr. Edwards' own witness stood up and admitted she already knew Ms. Ramos was involved with other men before the relationship ever got serious. That means from the very beginning, the foundation of this relationship was weak. Nothing about it was stable. At this point, the only thing that can bring answers is the DNA test. Will it finally put an end to the confusion, or will it open the door to even more heartbreak?
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Edwards, you are the father.
Thank you. Now, I want you to apologize to our son.